got another Goldwing video for you today. I'm gonna show you how to bleed your brakes on your mass cylinder. If you remember from our previous video, we rebuilt the mass cylinder. Now we need to bleed the line, and I'm gonna show you how to do it because even though it's a pretty simple task, you know, these Goldwings can be a little bit difficult sometimes on bleeding the hydraulic system on the back or the front brakes or the clutch. Sometimes they have issues. You know, it takes a little bit of more effort than you would if you was doing a car. Let's put it that way. If you bled brakes on a car, it's fairly easy to get them bled up, done, nothing flat. A motorcycle is a little bit different, especially the Goldwings. They are just a little bit, you know, can be a little bit challenging. Sometimes they'll pump right up. Sometimes they're going to have to take a little bit more work. And today I'm also going to show you a few little tips that will help in case you're running into the same trouble that I am. Alright guys, so let's get started.
Alright, once you get your cap off here, you should have access to your mass cylinder. I'll put that off to the side down there, and you can see we've already got brake fluid filled up in there. And basically when you pump it, you're just going to be working this thing back and forth, and trying to build up pressure to let the air out. Alright, now let's go down to the caliper real fast. Okay, we're on the right front side of the bike here for the caliper. Now when you hit the brake on the handlebar, it controls this brake on only this side. Alright, doesn't control both, just one. So we only have to bleed one caliper. Alright, and I believe the reason for that is because they have something called a anti-dip system on these Goldwings. If you remember back from your childhood, if you had handlebar brakes and if you smash them real hard, the wheel would lock up and you'd flip over or you'd fall, you know, or you'd skid. Well, the same principle kind of goes along with here. If both wheels was controlled by the same mass cylinder, this thing would lock up and, you know, you'd probably flip over or whatever. So the back brake will control the back brake and the left front brake. That's why you always probably been told, hit your back brake first, then your front brake. That way it keeps it from, you know, dipping forward and maybe flipping over or you falling off. So it's a very good no. Now if you have 11 or 1200, let you know it's opposite. The front brake controls the left side and the back controls the right side. It's a little weird, but if I remember right, 11 and 1200s are opposite of the 1500s. That was just a little side trivia. It had nothing to do with this video, but someone may find it useful. Alright, so now that we kind of got everything talked about, and I think everyone understands the premises of bleeding brakes, at least I hope so. If not, you can watch me. So we're going to go ahead and start bleeding the brakes the old-fashioned way. Alright, before we get started here, I just want to make sure that you guys do know, hopefully it's obvious, that your bike needs to be on the center stand and you need to try to get this as level as possible. As you can see, we're pretty good. Now it won't be perfectly level, and make sure you have your can of .4 brake fluid with you nearby so you can fill it up as we start draining it out. Now we're going to do this about 3 or 4 times, bleeding it, and, you know, letting it bleed out and see what results we can get. Alright, so guys, don't be frustrated if this takes a while because this is going to be a long, tedious process. For you, it's going to look like a fast forward, like it was done in nothing flat. Alright, shall we? bled the mass cylinder the old-fashioned way about 4 times. We are starting to get a little bit, not really a whole lot, not impressively amount, but I can feel it's starting. All right. Now sometimes this will work, sometimes it won't. But this is a good little trick. We're going to bleed the mass cylinder actually itself. We're going to pump it up, take a 12mm wrench, crack the line, and let the air come out of the mass cylinder and close it real quick. So that way we can get the air out of here, because sometimes it's having a hard time just getting, building up. Doing that a couple times may help, get them start pumping up a little bit, at least a little bit better than what they are. Alright, now if I haven't stated this already, or if you just don't know, make sure that when you're messing with brake fluid, to cover up everything that's going to get brake fluid all over it, because this stuff will eat up the paint and all that stuff. So I'm going to put it all over here and kind of just put it all over, so in case it shoots out, that it will go on the rag and on that rag, so that way I will not ruin the paint. I don't want to ruin it any more than what it already is. So we're going to pump it up, hold them, crack the line, shut it real fast, and maybe do that a couple times. Keep an eye on your mass cylinder level. If it's getting low, go ahead and fill it up. Mine's okay for right now. I may need to fill it up before the next go around or two. So let's get to it. I don't know if you heard that little hiss there, but there's air in the mass cylinder, because it hissed, so it's getting the air pulled out. As you can see, we still don't have any fluid coming out, so we're getting somewhere. Alright, if you saw the fluid come out, that means we are getting good. We've gotten all the air bled out of this mass cylinder here, so we are good to go. And you can see, look here, they are starting to build up rock hard. That's good. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and tighten this back up a little bit and put some more brake fluid in it, and we're going to keep pumping. Alright, look at that. These brakes are pretty darn stiff now. They are stiff. That's good, because that's what we want. Now, as you can see, my piston's a little bit, a little stiff, because it's all brand new and built inside. It's going to have to be worked back and forth and get, used to running here. But it's a little stiff because it's brand new, but it is working like it should. That is some good brake. That's even better than what I had beforehand. Now, I said I was going to show you a couple of tips here, and I am. All right, even though bleeding the mass cylinder worked for me, and hopefully it works for you as far as I needed to go, I'm going to show you another way in case, let's say, it didn't bleed up, but you do have some pressure, but it just feels still kind of spongy, like it's it's going like all the way down, and but there's a little bit of pressure left. All right, now there is one last thing you can do to see if this will work. And what it is you'll pump up your brakes. You'll pump. And then when you got the pressure all built up, as good as you can get, take a tie wrap. And I might have gotten too short of a tie wrap here. And if you'll just click one time. Alright. And you can see here, that's holding the pressure. Now what I'd suggest, or what I would do, is I'd leave that overnight. Alright? Leave it, and what happens is it will start squeezing the air down, down the line. Then in the morning, or whenever you get back to it, put your hand here, hold it. You can cut the tie wrap if you want at this point. Just make sure you don't let go of it. Go down there and bleed your caliper. Crack it open, slowly follow it down, shut it, and I've had to do this once and it worked beautifully. Alright, because so that is the other tech tip I got for you today. If that fails, well, there's only a few things that it could be. Either your mass cylinder needs to be rebuilt, like I have, if you haven't done so, or you have a leak in the line somewhere, which should be kind of obvious to spot because it would be squirting fluid everywhere. You'd be seeing fluid going all over the place. Or your mass cylinder is just wore out after you rebuilt it, and you're just gonna have to break down and go get another one. Now you can buy another used one, pull the kit out, and put it on the other mass cylinder, and go that route too. That works. I've done that with used parts. You gotta do what you gotta do, because finding a new one is very expensive. Alright guys, let's wrap this video up.
Alright guys, there we go. She's all bled up and good to go. Don't forget to put your top back on and screw it down to keep any contaminants from getting into your brake fluid there. Well guys, it's just that easy to do it. Like I said, we lucked out right after the mass cylinder bleeding it. I don't know if you hear it. I'll try to turn up the volume when I do edit the video. That you, when I crack the line, you can hear it go, you know, had a hiss. So there was air in the lines, and sometimes that's what you got to do to get the air out so it can start pumping up. As you can see, when we pumped it up regularly, we didn't have any luck whatsoever until we started bleeding the mass cylinder, and it was pretty much set, ready to go, which is good. Alright, now like I said, I showed you that other method. That's kind of like the last resort method. If you know, if you've got it where it's coming up but it's not good enough, it's still spongy, it's still going almost bottoming out, do that method and it has worked great. I did it with my rear brakes a while back when I was first trying to get it. I pumped them, bled them, you know, and it had just a little bitty pressure. I wasn't sure they were going to come back. I thought I was going to buy another mass cylinder, but sure enough, they came back after holding some pressure on it all night. It bled out beautifully. Alright guys, that is going to do it for the day. We're actually starting to make some progress on this bike. We still got more work to do on this bike. Yes, it's not done yet. Now we got to go back to the original things I was just going to do. The front brakes and the rear brakes are about some of the last things I got left to do, and I'll show you how to do them right here on this channel. So if you haven't subscribed to this channel, subscribe to this channel. We're going to be hitting up on some more Goldwing stuff here real soon. I hope to see you here next time. Well guys, you guys stay safe out there.